Welcome back to the Mind and Money podcast. My name is Val Stratford. I'm a financial planner.
And I am Sherry. I am a financial coach.
And today we are talking about a topic that has become more and more important in my business, which is automation / efficiency / what Sherry specifically has implemented in her business to streamline her processes, run a smoother business. What else would you say that the things that you've implemented have done in your business, Sherry?
Well, as an ADHD entrepreneur, it just allows me to do things when I have the capacity and not have to do them when I don't have the capacity. So I don't have pressure on myself to have to remember to do things daily because I've got things set up with the tech that help me focus on doing things when I have the ability to.
Tech is huge. I think, that is what we're going to talk about today is all of the different tech that we use to sync and to connect things. Similar to our one episode where we talked about, it'd be awesome if there was a booking system that synced with your cycle. That'd be lovely. We haven't made that yet, but it's okay. We'll get there. So when it comes to your business, what's the most helpful software or app that you use in your business?
It's probably two, and these are centered around social media. And I personally feel so much pressure to be on all of the platforms, everywhere. YouTube, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. And what allows me to do that is two things. One is my scheduling, my social media scheduler. Yeah. And I currently use Buffer, but I'm on a legacy plan that if I were to sign up today, it would be about 3 times more expensive. So I'm also playing around with some other platforms to see, because I'm on that legacy plan, it's not necessarily adapting. They add these new features on and they don't give them to me because they want me to upgrade. So I am looking at other schedulers, and we can talk about that a little bit down the road. But the other thing that I use partnered with that social media scheduler is it's not an app, it's a website called repurpose.io. And they're new, but I have been playing around with it and I love it. And I know that it is best to tailor your content to the specific social media platform. But for me, I prioritize getting content out on all the platforms. I don't have the capacity to specialize and create one video for Instagram and one video for TikTok. So it's that done is better than perfect. What Repurpose.io allows me to do is when a video posts on Instagram, it will then automatically publish. And there's a bit of a delay, obviously. It'll automatically publish to TikTok and to Pinterest and to YouTube. So it's one video creation gets to all of the platforms. Because it's new, there's been some hiccups too. I've had a few things that haven't worked out and I'm still learning along the way too, but it really helps to get things out, especially when I'm looking after my own business, but also trying to promote content for this podcast too. It's really helpful to be able to put it one place and it just sprinkles out to all of the other social media platforms to be able to expand our reach and allow me to help more people, connect with more people in my business, but also on the podcast end too. Just love automation, and it's something that I enjoy learning about. I know some people feel overwhelmed by it, but Repurpose.io is really pretty easy. You connect to the different platforms you want to use, and then you just create workflows. So workflow is if a post goes out on TikTok, post it on Pinterest. And then the same thing, if it goes out on TikTok, post it on YouTube or wherever you want it to go.
I think that is the biggest piece, is taking the time up front, connecting the platforms, creating the accounts, and setting things up, right? Building the structure. And then from there, it's building the picture frame, and you can always switch that picture out, but it's the frame. That's what is the most important piece. And it's the time, right? It's time on our business, not in our business. So to pull back and spend that time to do those things seems like a lot, but it saves us so much down the road. So those are your main social media pieces. A social media scheduler is fantastic. And yeah, we could probably go into a whole episode on the different schedulers and what we want them to do and what they do for us. When it comes to client bookings, what different technologies do you use for that experience?
So the client scheduling software that I use is called Acuity, and I love it. It allows so much flexibility as far as my calendar and setting up my boundaries. And that's the biggest thing as an entrepreneur, especially with ADHD, is to use that scheduler. It saves so much time for me and for my clients, but it also helps me easily create and stick to boundaries because if somebody wants to schedule, I'm sending them the link to the appropriate appointment to book. I'm able to use that on my website and social media, and especially for new clients booking a free consultation call, which I offer to everybody, that link is able to go out there and I can customize when I want to have different appointment times. So I can say I only want to have this type of call this time and this time.
Yes.
And I can also create buffers around it. So I tend to get a little chatty on calls with new clients, and we do schedule a half an hour, and I do try and respect that because I know everybody's time is important, but it allows me to schedule a buffer before or after, or before and after each appointment type, so that I'm not going back to back to back, because that drains me too much. I need 15 minutes at least of reset time between appointments to be able to, grab a bathroom break, not be rushed when I'm ending that client appointment, get a drink, do whatever I need to do. But it also has really great automation when it comes to emails. When a client books a first appointment with me, it comes attached, the email, the confirmation booking email has the contract they need to fill out, the file that they need to fill out. Yep.
Pause. Contract is created through.
That's something I didn't have on my list of automations. My contracts are all through Jotform. And all of these things come with a cost generally, but Jotform, you're able to use it for up to 5 different types of forms or contracts on the free account. So it's great. I'm able to have, really what I have is a contract for new clients and a contract for ongoing clients, because I don't need a whole lot of different contracts. So it allows that link to go out. It allows the link for the prep work file that they need to fill out, and just some other information. And when somebody books a free call with me, it also sends it out a customized email that includes links to my social if they want to connect with me, if they haven't already. So there's just complete customization as far as initial booking emails that go out, but also follow-up emails. So you can set it up reminders so that people are getting reminders. There's also different versions of Acuity where you can do text reminders. I don't do that, but I'm considering doing it because I know texts tend to be easier reminders than emails a lot of times. There's full customization. There's actually emails that can go out after an appointment too. So it's just really amazing to be able to send a link, somebody books, and it also puts those times when a client books into my calendar so that it automatically is there. Nobody else can book that time. I can see at a glance what is in my day and my calendar. We've talked before about how we heavily rely on our calendar. So it's important for me to have a scheduler that links with my calendar. Otherwise, I'm probably going to miss appointments. So I love the customization available with Acuity. I know there's lots of other schedulers out there, and there's lots out there that are free that you can start with, but it just, the time savings between, oh, are you available Tuesday at 10? No, what about Wednesday at 2? The back and forth sometimes when you're trying to book in this busy life and find a time that works for 2 people, it can take up so much time. And I find it can be a barrier for me personally. If I'm going to book a time with somebody for something,
yes,
I am much more likely to do that if there's a click to book and I can sit there at 2:00 in the morning or 10:00 in the morning and look to see, compare my calendar to their availability. And if I'm able to book automatically on my own without getting another human involved, I'm much more inclined to book.
It's so helpful. Mind you, I'm also the person that, because my availability has a boundary, but if someone says, oh, we can only meet at 7:30 once the kids are in bed, then we do the dance, right? But I do love the link. So the Acuity email that goes out, that's all through Acuity. You're not doing that through a mailing list.
Nope, I do have a mailing list, but I'm not doing it through. And also when they book, it allows me to have them decide if they want to opt in for my mailing list, which has another bit of a workaround because it only can sync with, it doesn't sync with the email software that I use, but I have a workaround so that it automatically still goes into my email list that I use.
Okay, so explain that.
So I use MailerLite. I love it. I've got all my things set up through there. It was easier.
Let you do, like, it's your newsletter mail.
Yeah, so it's my, so like when somebody signs up for my free budget template, or if they signed up for the entrepreneur file that we talked about in our last couple podcasts, that all happens through there, as well as a semi-regular newsletter. I try and do it weekly, but I also try not to be spammy. So I use MailerLite, and I haven't checked in a bit, but last time I checked, Acuity didn't sync with MailerLite, but it synced with MailChimp. So I actually, if somebody signs up for a free consultation that I opt in to my newsletter, they're actually getting on my MailChimp mailing list, which it's not really a thing. But then I have using a program called Zapier, which can do all of the things, then adds them to my MailerLite list. So they actually get on my email list. It's just a bit of a workaround. And
is Zapier? Okay, yeah.
It can do all of the things. And they recently expanded what's available on the free account. So you can do lots of things for free. And they're actually using Zapier, Zapier, Zapier. Mm-hmm. And they're using AI recently. So if you sign up for an account and you are wanting to like do what I did, like link MailChimp subscribers, when somebody signs up for MailChimp, have them added to your MailerLite, they actually have an AI that you just like type exactly what you're trying to do, and it gives you a suggested automation. There are so many programs that you can link through here. Like you can, when somebody signs up and books my first client session, it can create a new Google Drive folder based on that client, because that's how I share information with my clients, is a Google Drive folder. So Zapier can do so much. If there's an automation, you're like this is a dream. If I could do this, go type it in Zapier and see. Maybe the answer is it doesn't exist yet, but it might. It's so cool what it can do.
We've talked about your social media. We've talked about your booking, your emails. When it comes to invoicing, what does that look like, and what does that for you?
I use QuickBooks for all of my bookkeeping, and I also use it for my invoicing. So it's a little different for a new client. When a new client signs up for the first session, we're processing that payment at time of booking. So if we do it virtually, if they do that on their own, they book on their own, they're paying through Acuity when they book. So that payment does happen outside of QuickBooks. It happens with Squarespace. But if they're booking in person with me, I process the payment through QuickBooks, again, at time of booking. But for my ongoing clients that I work with on a month-to-month basis, they all have automatic charges that are based on the program that they've signed up for. And this all happens through QuickBooks. So it's actually through a QuickBooks sales receipt, and it's able to charge them the day of, either the 1st or 15th for all of my clients. And it all is processed automatically, and I don't have to lift a finger. Now, if there's an error, I do get a notification on QuickBooks. It lets me know, and I have to pay attention to that. But generally, it all happens automatically, and it's just very easy. And because I'm invoicing, putting those charges through QuickBooks, it makes the bookkeeping part of that a whole lot easier, because it's all happening from the same platform.
So at this point, if we had a meeting and I would be invoiced right after it, if I'm a reoccurring person, like, I guess I'm coming at it from the place of, if we have a one-off meeting, which isn't necessarily your style, there's nothing that would trigger, like, oh my gosh, okay. My therapist, after we meet, I instantly have, like, before the meeting is even over, I have an invoice from her. It's already been charged to my credit card, all is well. So that's got to be something automatic that syncs with the Jane app. But you don't use anything like that currently, because they're also different, potentially.
Yeah, so I don't do one-off client meetings. Like, I do have one in my Acuity that can be booked, but I don't remember the last time I used it. And if somebody were to do that, it would be paid like at time of booking. So if we're set up and we're we've got an ongoing coaching relationship and you're going to meet with me once a month, it doesn't matter when in that month we meet.
Right. It's
based on your contract. Yeah. Based on your contract, you're going to be automatically charged either the 1st or the 15th. And maybe we meet on the 2nd or the 22nd. It doesn't really matter. It's just a month to month payment and a month to month like meeting. So the timing of the meeting and the payment don't really jive with one another.
Right. Okay. That makes perfect sense to me. Is there anything else that you had thought of when it comes to the automation of your business that you would want to share?
I've actually been trying a few other things when it comes to social media. So there is a scheduler called Metricool, and it is really good. I'm just using the free plan, and I'm mainly using it for analytics because that's what it's really, really good at it. And I need to try just moving some of my posts over there to try it to see how it works, because it's one of the things I'm considering moving to when my current subscription is done with Buffer. And it's able to give me analytics. I'm able to like link to my website as well. So it gives me more analytics than just the different social media platforms. So I think the free plan has up to 50 posts a month. So still pretty flexible for somebody that's new to scheduling. And I've also been using, mainly it came out of the podcast and me needing something that captions really well. And the captions, like where it's highlighting the word, I really like, and you see it all over the place on social media. So I've been using CapCut for that, and notice that CapCut also has a scheduler. It seems like everything's starting to have a like social media scheduler. And I do have a paid Canva account, but the one thing that's holding me back from using, like, where's their captions? Dear Canva, please get captions so that you can, so I don't have to use multiple different platforms to edit things, because I'm also trying to be considerate of my budget. Like, I'm paying for Buffer, I'm paying for my scheduler, I am paying for repurpose.io, and I don't want to add something else when I have Canva does like 90% of the things I want it to do. Just that missing piece is the caption. And I hope it's coming soon with AI and all the different things. So I hope it's coming soon. But CapCut is really good at adding captions, but most of the caption options are on the pro account, which I'm not quite ready to invest. Like, I'm close, but I'm holding out for Canva.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Interesting. There's so many pieces that I'm sure you found and I found with automation and such. It's as you go along, you go, oh, a tool would be great for this. And then that tool appears in your realm. You're like, oh, okay, that is possible. Zapier sounds like a great place to start searching for those tools.
Yeah, if you're just starting to dabble with automation, I think it is a great place to look. And I do need to spend some time in figuring out, does Repurpose.io, can I use Zapier for that? Or is there a way to not have that extra thing there? And Repurpose.io is just so easy that I like wondering if there's ways I can use it more to get more value out of it. And as of yet, I don't see any limitations to how many workflows and automations you can have, which is really, really amazing.
Interesting. Many.
There's so many things. And the problem is that because there's so many things, we can feel overwhelmed. Like if you type in to Google right now to say, like, what's the best social media scheduler? First, you're going to get a billion sponsored ads, but then you're going to get different articles written by different gurus and marketing experts, and they're all going to have a different answer because it depends on what you need and what, like, how tech savvy you are and how challenging the program is to navigate.
I would imagine, like, if you compiled everything you really wanted and put it into ChatGPT, then it would give you some good answers too. Potentially sponsored ones. Who knows?
Why have I never asked ChatGPT that? I use it for so many other things, and it's just, I don't think of it all of the time.
This.
Best social media scheduler to do this, this, and this. And I really love the analytics part of social media. And I know I shouldn't pay as much attention as I do, but I do get the dopamine hits from seeing, like, yeah, this video did really well and this video didn't do so well, and
feedback too.
Asking myself why. Yep. From the podcast perspective, there are two things that we use. The easiest one, we're recording right now on Riverside, and it helps me to do all of the editing. And I really love how easy the editing process is, because you're able to go in and you see the script basically of what you said, and you can go in and delete words, and then it removes it from the video as well. Now, because I'm a little bit of a fast talker, it doesn't always get the word I want. They are constantly improving and making things so much better. And they've recently added where it takes out filler words. So if we say here, I'm probably going to have to go in and make sure that it actually says that it doesn't edit it out. But it's so helpful from an editing, but also a recording perspective. I'm at the cottage right now and our upload speed is crap, but we're not having any issues with recording, and the video and sound will be seamless because it actually uploads to the individual person's computer and then all filters into Riverside. So it's really flexible. And if we were trying to do this over Zoom right now, not only would the editing be a pain in the ass, but also we'd probably be cutting out here and there, and it would be a crap video and maybe even have issues with the sound too. So I really love Riverside. And then download it to get on the podcast apps through Spotify for podcasters, and that links to Apple Podcasts as well. So there's so many different things, and there's a lot of different softwares that you can use to distribute your podcast too. And most of them are paid, and I found the paid one first and I started with that, and then somebody told me like Spotify for podcasters will do that, and why am I paying $20 a month for something when there is a free version? And there are some concerns like distributing your podcast through Spotify for podcasters. Like maybe, I don't know, does Apple like not prioritize it in the algorithm and showing it to people? I don't know, but it's easy.
It works. It works for now. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing all of those pieces of your business. We hope that helps someone else out there who's looking at ways to make their business more efficient, more automated. If you have any questions, reach out. We're happy to help.
And I'll link all of the things in the show notes because we've gone through a lot and it can feel a little overwhelming. If you're just starting with automations, just try one thing. And if you are a service-based business where you're seeing clients, definitely look at a scheduler. Maybe that's Acuity, maybe it's a different one. But another thing Acuity does that I forgot to mention is it syncs with Zoom. So when somebody books an appointment, if you've got it synced with Zoom and all set up, it automatically creates a Zoom link that's customized for that meeting if that's the way you want it. So it's super easy. And if you are meeting with clients back to back, you're not going to have two different clients in the same Zoom meeting because that would be really awkward. So many automations. There's a way to automate something that you want to do. I'm not sure exactly what the best software is, but just ask ChatGPT.
Thanks for listening.
This has been the Mind and Money Podcast, and we can't wait to see you next time.